failed completely, as well as all communications systems based on that technology. In short, the Combine are completely cut off. Combine forces currently stationed on Earth are now isolated units, stranded. However, this is most likely a temporary state of affairs. As we once learned to our dismay, even the relatively tiny fracture at Black Mesa gave our enemies an opening. They were able to force ever wider as they poured through greater and greater numbers. There are many modified post-human allies still remaining on Earth who will be doing their utmost to re-establish lines of communication and supply with the larger forces. Even so, there is greater reason for hope now than at any time in the past
You don't want a
decade.
bomb?
We have made, in secret, several technological advances which we will do our best to deploy.
My main goal is to blow up
We continue to
and then act like I don't know nobody.
and technicians. For what the Combine fear the most is not any tangible human force, but our will, our intellect, our ability to respond selectively and rationally to every terror they turn against us. We place our firmest hope in the human We've all seen friends and families crushed by the Combine. Some of our neighbors have been co-opted and purged of their humanity by the military machine. And those who resisted have met a most terrible fate. Still, I cannot overstate how important it is that we retain our humanity. Only this will allow us to hold together as we must for their inevitable return and what is certain to be unimaginable retaliation. And if you missed any part of this message, it will repeat until there is no point in using it any longer. I apologize for any inadvertent errors or omissions.
How do I change my spray?
This has been Dr. Isaac Klein, formerly of Black Mesa, now simply a citizen, like all of you, of Earth. Let me just add...
Here is your winner, the Spider-Man. I don't see how you can't be disappointed in winning like this. Look, sometimes you do what you have.
I'm just playing Mario Kart 7.
Stop playing fucking Mario Kart! I hate this stupid fucking sound!
My God.
No, Angry Bird sounds like this.
Baba Boo.
Else likes to lick my balls. You know who else has dementia? 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 Do you know who else?
Gentlemen, this never happened. We have lost the control point.
the shadow of our malefactors.
Mission begins in 30 seconds. Mission begins in 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
The device has returned to the drop site.
back to the light.
А каждый?
Mission begins in 30 seconds. Mission begins in 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
for the most part. The original game was filled to the brim with dark slapstick humor, featuring scientists dying in all kinds of funny ways and exploding into huge chicken bone giblets, all because humanity couldn't keep their
I don't think he has to completely shut up.
Fixer, shut the fuck up.
Serpotate, can you stop owning the VK?
Shark Fixer. I was telling the guy who was saying for you to do it to not go that far, but okay.
What, to sit and spin?
Richter, overtime. Have you ever dropped the soap in a county jail?
I haven't been to prison yet.
Yeah. Richter, overtime.
Yeah. Is that it?
Oh, watch out, there's a red spy behind us.
I knew it.
Serpotate, please shut the fuck up. That's right.
Damn, we just had a YouTuber tell you to shut up.
Wait, what does Serpotate do?
What did I do?
Oh, like, I seriously don't know what just happened. I was focused on a fight.
Richter, overtime.
What is it now?
What kind of sandwich do you usually order from Subway?
Turkey. Just a turkey.
That's a good choice. Also, there's a demo man in our spawn.
Wait, no, not turkey, I meant ham. Turkey kind of blows.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Good evening. Half-Life is not a horror game.
I think Hamas is a terrorist.
The original game was filled to the brim with dark slapstick
I think
humor,
Jerry
featuring
from Subway
scientists
is a
dying in all
terrorist.
kinds of funny ways and exploding
What do you
into
think
huge
about
chicken
the
bone giblets, all
Bohemian
because
Grove
humanity couldn't keep
in
their
Source?
noses out of this nasty green space world filled with giant...
I can't give an opinion on that one.
Good evening. Half-Life
Have you been
is
to the
not a
Bohemian
horror
Grove,
game.
Richter,
At least
overtime?
not for the most part. The original game was filled to the brim with dark...
Damn it.
Crazy that like I'm actually getting to talk to Richter overtime about this crazy shit. It's just like so crazy.
Cookie bomb launcher.
What about the
Good
cookie bomb
evening. Good
launcher?
evening. Half-Life is not
Please
a
replace the
horror
mine
game.
layer with the cookie bomb.
Yeah, Richter overtime.
Hey Richter, what's your opinion on the Krabby Patty?
I thought it was supposed to be more of a Scottish Resistance route replacement. I do say that I do miss both of them, both the Scottish Resistance and Quickie Bomb.
Can we just nuke the Middle East? Let's be real, guys. We're using nothing of value.
I have a proposal. No, fuck.
That'd be pretty based. I'm glad that Richter overtime has my opinions.
We should put Obama back in office so he can fucking just... We need more airstrikes over there.
Yeah, because everybody knows that Obama has all the kill streaks. He's been camping in the back of the map with the M200, picking off people at spawn.
Let's wait until he gets attacked.
Yeah, you got attacked.
Richter overtime speaks.
I'm talking. Fuck!
The dust ball is getting to him.
The dust is getting to his bowl.
I hope that despite having to deal with this later,
at least not for the most part. The original game was filled to the brim with dark slapstick humor, featuring scientists dying in all kinds of funny ways and exploding into huge chicken bone giblets, all because humanity couldn't get their hands on this nasty green space world filled with giant testicle spiders. When the sequel released in 2004, it actually took some people back because of its more somber and lonely tone. Though it too wound up having its fair share of comic relief characters and sitcom-tier gags, involving clumsy pet head crabs and garden gnomes and time-traveling boats. For all the series does to try and tell a serious story about a struggle for the future of humanity, it still always had a consistent sense of humor throughout, for better and for worse.
F3.
F2 none about.
There is one very notable exception to this silliness, though. One moment in the series that drops every hint of irony and abruptly releases the player into complete darkness with That moment is a little under halfway through the Half-Life 2 campaign, when a surprise Combine assault splits the cast apart and players suddenly find themselves alone, plunged headfirst into the grim and
That's the one I want to play.
I mean, understandably, because it's better than the original Hydra, so...
Hey, Richter, overtime, what's your opinions on CS2?
Oh man, I should use
I don't like
right
CSGO.
now.
Or CS2.
I personally hope that those mods like Classic Offensive
For the last damn
and
near 20 years,
what was
the
that other
sixth
one,
chapter of
Noble
Half-Life
Strike,
2, we don't go to
are still able to
Ravenholm, has
live
stuck
on
with players in
despite
a way that most
the
other video
closing of
game
the
levels
normal,
could only dream of doing. It's given people nightmares and made them lose sleep, yet left them enthralled and
Richter,
desperate for
what's your
more all the
opinion
same.
on,
It's inspired countless fan mods.
If I hear my name in this chat one more time,
if
I hear this name in my chat one more time, my brains are on my ears tomorrow.
That people still mourn the loss of to this very day. And despite the growing amount of
best thing is it's just a new thing. It failed to save me.
Ravenholm on its own still has a great reputation as a standout of not only the game,
funny at times, but please don't overwhelm him.
Captivating about this zombie
Why do I hear myself?
People still enamored with it all these years later. Well, it's spooky.
Oh, is it coming out my mic?
It's a little bit more to it than that though, so let's just start from the beginning.
Don't overwhelm Richter overtime.
Overwhelm. Stop and get out on foot. You can spot this ominous, blurry, shitty-looking silhouette of the city in the far distance. Then, once you enter the Black Mesa East Lab, it's possible to trigger Alex to acknowledge.
What if Chris Chan joined the server with us?
That's the old passage to Ravenholm.
Holy shit, man, come.
That'd be awesome.
You fucking jump.
We have a server claimed mom fucker.
Hell yeah. Does a good job of catching us off guard and foreshadowing future horrors soon to come. After an annoying, unskippable gravity gun tutorial segment,
He's such an interesting card.
Of course, our stubborn ass doesn't listen, and once the rubble separates us from the rest of it. Good evening. Half-Life
Chris Chan was my inspiration for YouTube, by the way.
At least not for the most part. The original game was filled to the brim with dark. Good evening. Half-Life is not a horror game. At least not for the. The original game is filled
What's wrong with that?
dark slapstick humor, featuring scientists dying in all kinds of funny ways, exploding into huge chicken bone.
We should affirm Chris Chan.
Keep their noses as this space world filled with giant testicles. When the sequel released in 2004, it actually took some people back because it was more somber.
The other day, people were
Though it too
saying
wound up
no one
having
should bully
its fair
Chris
share of
Chan anymore.
characters and
One more
sitcom-tier
pray to God.
gags involving clumsy pet
I was like, what?
I don't think we should bully Chris Chan because he has high-functioning autism. It's not okay.
It still always had a consistent sense of humor
What's the
throughout, for
funniest
better
people
and
to
for worse.
bully, right?
Nah, I'm a hater. Let's bring back bullying.
There is one very notable exception to this silliness, though. One moment in the series that drops everything to eternity and abruptly releases slapstick or watermelon props to console them. That moment is a little under halfway through the Half-Life 2 campaign, when a surprise combine assault splits the cast apart and players suddenly find themselves alone, plunged headfirst into the grim and unsettling ghost town.
I don't know whether to take that as a joke or serious.
I mean, that's what happened to Uncle Dane and all those other TF2bers.
Really?
Yeah, they were all.
Oh, it seems like they ended up making Team Fortress 2 content. Let's think about it.
Just because they like the game, I guess.
Where all the losers.
Bunch of weirdos.
The last damn near 20 years, the 6th chapter of Half-Life 2, We Don't Go to Ravenholm, has stuck with players in a way that most other video game developers could only dream of doing. It's given people nightmares and made them lose sleep, yet left them enthralled and desperate for more all the same. It's inspired countless fan mods, remains one of the most talked about topics in the game's community, and was even the centerpiece of at least 2 official spin-offs, still mourn the loss of to this
I was trying to do a couple lives.
Regardless of autism or not.
Every time we take action, then we get pushed back. There's mines and everything.
I bully anyone for any reason, which makes me technically not a bigot.
What the hell was so special about this chapter?
Are you a bigot?
Equal
What was so
opportunity
captivating about
just
this
like
zombie
Kelsey
town
did.
that's left people still enamored with it all
Well,
these years
yeah, I
later?
mean, that's fair.
Well,
There's
it's
no
spooky.
bigotry. Fuck you,
There's a little bit
Larry.
more to it than that, though, so let's just start from the beginning.
We got rid of them.
A lot of people
Well, you
know
definitely know how to
Where's your
deliver.
petition? Where's your fucking petition, man?
There's
Come
two
on.
spots
I'm
where you can
kidding.
stop
What?
and
I
get
can't
out.
believe it's
There's
petitions to
blurry,
TF2
blurry looking silhouettes in the city. Then once you enter the NPC blackness,
Okay, let's not answer that question. Nobody answer that question.
leads to the town, which is where we first learned of its name.
When Trump becomes president, are you? What
I'm
are
writing
you
on my
doing?
suicide note.
Somber and reserved line from the otherwise snarky Alex Vance does a good job of catching us off guard and foreshadowing the grim horrors soon to come. After an annoying, unskippable gravity gun tutorial segment, the Eli gives us yet another stark warning. Of course, our stubborn
What's your
ass
thoughts
doesn't
on Karl Marx and
Alex immediately orders Doc to
climb up through an abandoned elevator shaft. At this point, we, despite what the chat
most definitely do go to Raven.
on suction training?
First, things are quiet, though as we emerge from the shed and take in the nighttime air, we quickly start spotting corpses strung up on walls and trees and hearing demented laughter in the distance. This place
I
has
can't hear you because your mic is so shit.
a lot of zombies.
I know, because I'm using my webcam.
It's completely unlike anything we get across our journey, and on a first playthrough, it's almost immediately becomes
You know you could get rid of the
face-to-face
echo
with
of
the
it
town.
if you put like a blanket over
One
you
and
and
only
the
Father
laptop or
Grigori.
whatever.
Now this guy is an
Or you could just shove it up your
He's
ass.
also one of the best examples of what's easily one of my favorite character archetypes, the badass priest. Equipped with his trusty Winchester rifle that might just be the ugliest looking model in the entire game, Grigori speaks almost exclusively in religious passages, builds cool ass motor traps to crush and maim zombies that get too close for comfort, and on a first playthrough is a bit of an uneasy ally. He's literally introduced to you as an insane person laughing maniacally in front of a mound of burning and impaled corpses. So the first time I played this level, I honestly got the read that this was all going to lead up to him being a boss fight. In fact, pretty much all of Ravenholm can be a bit hard to follow on a first playthrough, which I don't think is entirely unintentional. A cursory look at the game's manual helps clear things up a bit, though. Basically, Ravenholm was once a small but prosperous mining town that fell into disrepair and abandonment following the Combine's invasion, but was later rediscovered by the Resistance and for an escape from the
No, you don't want to be on my team.
The Combine quickly learned of the defective town, but due to its far distance from the Citadel and the dangerous amounts of alien wildlife in the area surrounding it, they decided not to waste resources sending soldiers in, and instead used a shelling device to ravage the town. Let's get 'em! Good evening. Half-Life is not a horror game. At least not for the most part. The original game was filled to the brim with dark slapstick humor, featuring scientists dying in all kinds of funny ways and exploding into huge chicken bone giblets, all because humanity couldn't keep their noses out of the space world.
giant testicle
When the
spiders.
sequel released in 2004, it actually took some
Me, I'm just not a hollaback
somber
girl.
and lonely tone. Though it too wound up having its fair share of comic relief characters and sitcom tier gags, involving clumsy pet crabs and garden gnomes and time-traveling bugs. For all the series does to try and tell a serious story about a struggle for the future of humanity, it still always had a consistent sense of humor throughout, for better and for worse.
That's like a zombie.
There is one very notable exception to this silliness, though. One moment in the series that drops every hint of irony and abruptly releases the player into a world of complete darkness without any cheesy slapstick or waterwork. That moment is a little under halfway through the Half-Life 2 campaign, when a surprise combine assault splits the cast apart and players suddenly find themselves alone, plunged headfirst into the grim, unsettling ghost town of
Oh yeah, brother. My favorite YouTuber.
This is the wrong side of town for you.
Alert. The control point is being captured.
For the last damn near 20 years, the 6th chapter of Half-Life 2, we don't know players in a way that most other video games It's given people nightmares. What did I do wrong this time? It left them desperate for all the same. It's inspired countless fans. One of the most talked about topics in the games community, and the release of at least 2 official canceled spin-offs.
I think he was just gonna ask another question or something.
And despite the growing amount of dirt that people have started spattering all over Half-Life,
no more questions. I'm not answering any more questions.
Ravenholm on its own still has a great reputation as a tasteful standout of not only the game, but the series as a whole.
See, now no one can ask questions,
What was so special about this chapter and setting in the first place? What was so captivating about this zombie town that's left
everyone except Chris can ask questions as long as they aren't fucking
There's a little bit more.
Nobody except me can ask questions.
A lot of people don't know.
You can ask questions, just no more
Half-Life 2
things about my balls exploding and other things like that.
There's 2 spots where if you stop and get out on foot, you can spot this ominous, blurry, shitty-looking
As a major big
I want you to know that my balls are still intact.
Once you enter the Black Mesa East Lab, it's possible to
Why is there a heavy there?
So we're
in a game full of one-liners, this oddly somber and reserved line, otherwise
not yet.
Does a good job of catching us off guard
and foreshadowing grim horrors to come.
After an annoying tutorial segment, the Combine decided to be another stark warning.
Bungender. Arrow ace.
Of course, our stubborn ass doesn't listen once the bubble separates us from the rest of our
bisexual, arrow ace, gay, lesbian, bungender,
at this point we, despite what
trans femme,
most definitely do go to Raven.
That's all that's gonna be me.
First things are quiet. Though as we emerge from a shed and take in the nighttime air, we quickly start spotting corpses strung up on walls and trees and hearing demented laughter in the distance. This place has a lot of mutilated bodies.
I'm a tiger section.
Gotta keep Yellow from capping again, otherwise you're gonna win.
Unlike anything movie I come across in our journeys,
it's incredibly jarring. Almost immediately we come face to face with the one and only Father Grigori. Now this guy is an absolute
nut. He's also one of the best examples of one of my favorite characters.
My balls exploded.
Equipped with his trusty please
have a nice day.
The ugliest looking model in the entire game, Grigori speaks almost exclusively in religious passages. Cool-ass motor traps to crush and maim zombies. And on our first playthrough, it was a bit of an uneasy out. He's literally introduced to you as an insane person
fucking sentries on the floor.
So the first time I played this level, I honestly got
Hey, just like jokes about farting so hard that one's balls explode, those always make people laugh.
Which I don't think is
yeah, but now when they're overused, you gotta face it better.
Basically, Ravenholm was once a small
No, that's actually
mining town that fell into disrepair and abandonment following the Combine's invasion, but was later rediscovered by the Resistance and repurposed.
Please stop playing Sniper. I'm sending you pipe bombs and anthrax.
But due to its far distance from the Citadel and the dangerous amounts of alien wildlife in the area surrounding it, they decided not to waste resources sending soldiers in, and instead use a shelling device to ravage the
On the plus side, Blow Team managed to almost go head-to-head on them on player point.
Head-to-head.
Nah, man, that was another common blue team L.
Good evening.
I worked so hard, my balls
at least not for the most part.
You
The original
fart so
game was
hard.
filled with slapstick humor, featuring scientists dying and all
so
kinds
far,
of
but in the end.
Good evening.
Keep talking about balls exploding.
The original game was filled with
God.
dark. Good evening. Half-Life Good evening.
Good evening.
Half-Life is not a horror game. At least, not for the most part. The original game was filled to the brim with dark slapstick humor, featuring scientists dying in all kinds of funny ways and exploding into huge chicken bone giblets, all because humanity couldn't keep their...
They call me the engineer.
The engine
They call me the balls,
I think he's like Joseph Joestar, where he curses the Japanese or something for like stealing one of his inventions. They stole the freaking design of the Sony Walkman from him.
Who are you talking about? Joseph Joestar?
What the fuck,
Does Richter Overtime know who you're talking about? Yeah, good job, red team. Let's keep it up. Keep it up.
Shut red team, I'm sending you all anthrax.
Yeah, red team's.
Not if I send you
camping our spawn with explosives while his team
I'm gonna send you a gag gift that makes your farts explode whenever your balls.
Yeah. That's a good one.
Dumbass was camping our base with one health point.
Why is playing Spy on 14 such a nightmare?
My brother in Christ, you are playing Spy.
Yeah, there's just too many fronts going on that. There's so many fights going on that it's just safer just to shoot at anything that moves that isn't right next to you.
So many parts going on that everyone goes close, yeah.
Yeah.
I wish to live in a world where balls just explode on command.
That's the world that Demo Man lives in.
Well, if one crouches down and pushes really hard on the belly button.
Yeah, that Crits Creek isn't going to do anything against the stock Uber medic. We're screwed.
That's basically why I use it. No.
Crack your fingers in public, and nobody bats an eye. Finger
Fart
your
so hard,
crack,
your balls
and
explode.
everybody loses their shit.
I think one thing that needs to be fixed for 14 modes is how the hills get contested, because you can't contest a hill that someone else is contesting, so it reduces their contesting, but then once it gets reset, if you're overtime, then whoever had the hill in the first place wins.
Did I hear overtime?
Farting so hard that your balls explode.
Good evening. Good evening. Half-Life is not...
Your balls will explode. Your balls will explode on the 8th of October 2027.
Just heard someone play the Good Evening clip, god damn it.
Good evening.
Tell me what. Good
evening.
They want the spy
So hard that your balls explode.
Yeah, right.
Spy, you know I could have air blasted you.
When the spy
I do not give a shit.
See about farting so hard that my balls explode. Air blast.
When the spy disguises, which team is disguises at?
Are you guys in the ass blaster or the dildozer team?
I think the brain rot is spreading.
No, ass blaster or dildozer?
I'd say dildozer.
Can you do both? Hey guys, are there fart milking machines?
Yeah.
Hey Richter Overtime.
Yeah.
Fuck me. What's your thoughts on?
It's kind of cool. Mine pulls estrogen rush. I don't know how to feel about it.
Yeah, it needs more armor plating, I think.
Hey, your ball sack produces estrogen?
I miss Demonite so much.
That's so cute.
Can we please ban Roller from the game?
Dude, I would love that. Just based on the picture.
Everybody's banned, everyone's fun if this is by 5%.
At least, not for the most part.
I think it'd be nice if we had everybody who didn't fart so hard, their
featuring
balls
scientists
explode.
dying in all kinds of funny ways and exploding into huge chicken bone giblets, all because humanity couldn't keep their noses out of this nasty green space world filled with giant testicles. When the sequel released in 2004, it actually took some giblets, all because humanity couldn't keep their noses out of this nasty green space world filled with giant testicle spiders. When the sequel released giblets, all because humanity couldn't keep their noses out of this nasty space world filled with giant testicle spiders. When the sequel 2004, it actually took some people aback.
Talking about Australian jungle spiders? What the hell?
Comic relief characters and sitcom tier gags involving
I'm not
clumsy
gonna kill
pet
you
head
because you
crabs
seem
and
nice up there,
garden
Green
gnomes
Goblin.
and traveling boats. For all the series does to try and tell a serious
come on,
story
God.
about
I got away with 8 health for
humanity,
Sniper,
it
you're a
still
fucking
always had a
moron.
consistent sense of humor throughout, for better and for
Don't say
worse.
that, buddy.
There is one very notable exception to this silliness, though. One moment in the series that drops every hint of irony and abruptly
Face.
releases the player into
I
a
saw
world
what
of
you did to
complete
that guy.
darkness
That was
without
funny
any
as
cheesy
hell.
slapstick or watermelon props to console them. That moment is a little under halfway through the Half-Life 2 campaign when a surprise Combine assault splits the cast apart and players suddenly find themselves alone. Plunged headfirst into unsettling ghost town of...
Sorry guys, I just farted so hard that my balls exploding. My balls exploded.
5 days for our balls not to explode. I don't know how to continue the joke.
Last day here, 20
Watch
years,
Expiration
the
Day.
sixth
It's a
chapter
good
of Half-Life
freaking
2. We don't go to
animation.
Most other video game levels.
My brother Christ, you're recommending
It's giving
my
people nightmares.
Hey, yellow team, let me win. I'll take out that green sensor.
For more, all the same. It's inspired countless fan mods, remains one of the most talked about topics in the game's community, and was even the centerpiece of at least 2 official canceled spin-offs that people still mourn the loss of to this very day. And despite the growing amount of dirt that people have started spattering all over Half-Life 2's name in the recent years, Original on its own still has a great reputation as a tasteful standout of not only the game, but of the series as a whole. So, what the hell was so special about this chapter?
Well, yeah, because it's a bowling minigame. You
What was
can't
so
beat a bowling
captivating about this
minigame.
zombie town that's left people
How
still
about a
enamored with
fishing
it all these
minigame?
years later? Well, it's spooky.
How about a ball sack
There's a
minigame?
little
Depends on
more
how
to it
well
than
it's
that,
done.
though, so let's just start
Yeah, I
from
like
the
the false light minigame from GTA 6.
GTA, I
A lot
hope
of people don't
GTA.
know that the first time you see Raven
GTA
2
6
is
comes
actually
out, I'm just gonna
early
replay
on.
5 and
There's 2
not
spots where if you
5.
stop and get out on foot, you can spot this ominous, blurry, shitty...
When GTA 6 gonna get out, when GTA just like
Then
fart
once you
really
enter
hard
the
and
galactic
Don't
jungle,
kill her,
it's
don't kill
possible
that
for
red
hours to
fly.
That's sometimes I'm farting so hard about this really start talking about
Passage to Ravenholm.
drinking so hard you get a
We
jaundice.
don't go there anymore.
In a game full of one-liners,
Drinking so hard that you get a bone.
reserved line from the otherwise snarky Alex Vance does a good job of catching us off guard and foreshadowing these
Yeah, that
wars.
typically requires you to
After
be a
an
hard
annoying,
drinker for a
unskippable
while.
gravity gun tutorial
before that
segment,
Hard
Combine
drinker.
descended from the lab and he like
That's a
using
yellow
the
team. Yellow team. The yellow, everyone in the yellow team has a jaundice. Don't trust them.
separates us from the rest of the friends. Alex immediately goes back to an abandoned elevator shaft.
Guys,
At which point we,
CP
despite what
steal.
the chapter title might lead you to believe, most definitely
Sure,
do
F1
go
bot.
to Raven.
We have secured the
First, things are quiet. Though as we emerge from a shed and
Hey,
take
no
in the
way we're
nighttime
gonna
air,
win
we
this.
quickly start spotting corpses strung up on walls.
Hey guys, which class do you think has the largest
This place has a lot of mutilated bodies. Zombies.
They're falling.
It's completely unlike
Probably
anything we've yet
Pyro,
come across.
because
Journey.
Pyro
And
is
on
the
a
most
first playthrough,
ambiguous
it's
one,
its
so
predator
it would
charm.
actually
Almost
have one.
immediately we come face to face with
Mitch Pollard.
He's gonna cap at
one
least
and only
one
Father
time.
Grigori. Now this guy is an absolute nut job, but he's also one of the best examples.
Hey, guys.
of one of my favorite
Which class do you think has the largest ball size?
Equipped with his trusty Winchester rifle,
Yeah,
that
that
might
sounds pretty neat.
model of the entire game. Grigori speaks
Heavy?
almost exclusively
Heavy?
in religious passages, builds
I'm
cool
getting
custom
chills.
traps,
Oh yeah,
and
he
names.
Based on that, he said that the weight of all mercenaries combined would be about 15
person
turbo.
laughing maniacally in front of a mound of burning impaled
Honestly,
corpses.
correct.
So the first time I played this level, I honestly got the read that this was all going to lead up to him being a boss fight. In fact, pretty much all of Raven had plenty of
Which I don't think is entirely unintentional. A cursory look at the game's
You know, it made me fucking laugh.
That face when you fart so
that fell
hard,
into
your balls
disrepair and
explode.
abandonment following the Combine
Richter,
invasion.
guys, we got a cat. We can't run away.
This is a safe haven for humans. with
Stop the yellow, stop the yellow. Damn it.
It's
dangerous amounts of alien wildlife in the area surrounding it, they decided not to waste resources
and instead used a shelling device to ravage the town with head crabs and render it uninhabitable. Pretty much everyone
Tom, will you put this in your next video, please?
Hence the hordes upon hordes of zombies. Everyone
putting us in the microwave, that's for sure.
Gregory was the priest of the town and always had a deep connection to it and its residents. So despite his colleagues dying all around him the unsafe living conditions, to put it lightly, this guy still refuses to leave his home and is mad
from all the violence and insolence.
He now stands as the church, building traps over rooftops so he can always stay ahead of the zombies, all while helping the occasional passer by
and looking after his flock of fallen friends.
Playing my videos in the VC, please.
Gregori's story is some real Edgar Allan Poe shit. There's really nothing else like it in the entire series. It's poetic angst. In fact, the shitty-looking Winchester rifle Gregori carries is called the Annabelle, which I think might be a He's apparently into self-harm too, so he's burnt into his hands. Sick converses, though. Knowing the full story of his character, I've always found Gregori's moment-to-moment dialogue really interesting.
I heard that they actually got it,
especially when the player dies and he becomes yet another victim of Ravenholm, or as he's nicknamed it, the House of Chaos.
I just saw the profile picture. I think you might have talking about them being ill.
If I survive this night, I shall build you an honest fire. So, again, I am alone.
One of the main things that makes Gregori special
Stop sticking staring my children, you asshole.
This chapter, and is not once ever mentioned by a single other person throughout the rest of the series, making him easily one of the most enigmatic figures in all of Half-Life, right up there with the G-Man. In fact, even the G-Man is technically mentioned by more
It's like Richter Overtime, Gamer
Juice. There's a fan theory that Gregori isn't real.
This map is pretty dull.
Dreamt up to help him cope with the overwhelming
That's always
been a bit too abstract for my taste, but it's still interesting to see how much people have managed to read into this guy who basically only exists to throw a shotgun and explain away these weird nonsensical traps that some Valve deck came up with. Oh, my brother, I have gone crazy. Now I have to fucking go play a card thing and jump on these zombies. Check it out. Anyway, we spend the rest of the chapter pushing across town and fighting alongside our new religious friend. He gives us a trusty shotgun and covers us from rooftops while we storm through the town's claustrophobic winding streets. We work around and with his traps and team up to take on hordes of undead together until we finally reach the church grounds. It's here we get to see Gregori up close and personal, as well as the exterior of this fortified church, which I always really wanted to look inside of as a kid. Standing together side by side, we travel through a graveyard path behind the church, and the mad monk sees out of the town to its minds. The last we ever see of him is him laughing maniacally once again as the graveyard goes under flames. The intentionally left the character ambiguous as to whether he lives or dies for players to fill in their information. Things wrap up with the player escaping through the tunnels, coming out to a rail yard.
Everybody wants to. Damn, Richter.
Reuniting with the resistance at Shore Point Base just in time to help them fend off the Combine onslaught, and then passing through the ghosts while they take their injuries.
I guess Richter got a hold of that sweet
The song is iconic to the series.
Dawn plays here to commemorate the death of a single random NPC named Winston, but I recently realized that what it's really meant to
just something that I came up with, like, you want to know? No, listen, I'll tell you.
Well, yeah, that's part of it. This is where the chapter ends, though. After this, Roman sets out to find Eli.
Okay, look, so I'm autistic, alright? And there's a thing that autistic people do where they just keep saying the same things over and over again.
Which makes it all the more impressive that it stuck with people so much. So now that I've given everyone a refresher on the events of the chapter, it's time to finally answer the question of just what makes it so special. What exactly is this?
Most of the time it gets a reaction, people kind of funny, so.
Half-Life 2.
I don't find it funny.
I think it's actually really
simple. No, you do find it funny.
Funny at first, but it got overdone.
Not only for the rest
No, it's funny because I said so.
Change out this map. Can we RTB?
Yeah, I RTB'd already. And
the town itself
now you gotta do exclamation mark first.
And the impressive Combine technology that jets out of the weapons we see all throughout the rest of the game is nowhere to be seen. The Citadel is invisible from here either. Hell, even the
let me go ahead and continue to explain. So there's a song,
I think the chapter's theme song
there's a thing on what's it called? Spike TV, and it was like Mansour's. Can you watch a larger ball explode? Story levels into a song.
And they made a remix of that on MTV.
Half-Life is sought to show us just how
No, they made a remix of them saying
this chapter
that on
shows us just how much
MTV.
worse it is for those who try.
And like I just kind of started saying that because I thought it was funny as a meme, and then it just like almost became like my catchphrase.
And of course, who
I mean, if I knew that
first place
context,
where
I guess it would
players
be
use the iconic
funnier.
gravity gun in combat.
Because that actually does
and
sound
when the
pretty
player
funny.
gets their hands on the first shotgun. It's where we first encounter fast and poison variants of the zombies and head crabs too. Hell, even this train yard at the end that everyone forgets about technically introduces not
I
only
feel
the
like considering the fact that you have
units, but the AR-2
most of the people here have heard that.
If you don't go to Ravenholm, might just introduce the most new gameplay elements out of any chapter in the entire game.
It would be nice to give y'all
left unspoken about the
and
mysterious
somewhat of an
past
explanation as far
and the endless
as
speculation about what might have happened to Father
Can you actually explain that?
The perfect centerpiece of the game, and that's not even getting into the cut content.
Fuck you, Larry.
Oh god, Red's trying to get back to the point.
But yeah, that's what happens whenever you first know that your balls explode. That's one of the TV show answers.
And I want to dedicate at least a little bit of time to talking about the chapter's bizarre development cycle, because it's kind of fascinating. Earlier versions were called Zombie Town, Fizz Town, Trap Town.
And I'm guessing either the heavy switches to soldier and helps the medic farm, or the medic is getting a lot of
was also originally going to take place before Black Mesa East.
Can you play music so loud that you can rip a woman's clothes off? I decide that like now that you can, that you'd rip her skin off.
Yeah. Showing that the area was at one point an American desert town called Springfield, and was once going to be more centered around an enormous quarry, kind of like the one they call it in Vegas. But it's still worth mentioning that Ravenholm features quite a lot of the modern Corpse 01, which uses an actual forensics body as part
I like Batman.
The Half-Life 2 update project on Steam adds in even more of this model, funnily enough, hanging in the far distance. There's also the classic fun fact that when you play the zombie sounds backwards, they scream.
Wait, what was the question? That got that answer.
Guys, what's your opinion?
That's
not morbid enough to work.
Child's dead body under a bed somewhere. Curiously, one of Half-Life 2's
yellow heavy ball health
shows a version of Ravenholm with Combine soldiers who get smacked with as well as a Pepsi machine that blows up and spits out.
It's gonna make them win anyways. They don't have it yet.
Seen in the final game. Yet another example of how weirdly deceptive
red and
this
yellow
game's
both on overtime.
Finally, I want to take a second to talk.
Overtime? Did I hear overtime?
This thing is a piece of shit.
Oh,
You know what this is
Richter.
basically for a period of time. Our minds were originally supposed to take place in the middle of the chapter instead of at the end. And they were originally supposed to be like twice as long because you were going to have to use this rinky-dink car called the Digger to drive around and knock over wooden beams and then finally ram it into a giant head crab testicle thing on the wall to progress. Now, I know that might sound kind of interesting on paper, but if you play this section of the chapter in the leak, you will immediately see why it was cut. It's a buggy disaster of a vehicle that constantly freaks out and gets stuck on stuff, and I do not know
Hey guys.
What I do kind of mourn, though, is Return to
Guys.
Sometime around 2006, Valve gave another developer called
Do you ever fart so hard your
Studios
balls
to go ahead
explode?
to develop a Half-Life 2 expansion
Totally,
game.
dude, every day.
If you've never heard of these guys, they were a studio led by Warren Spector, the creator of Deus Ex, and were actually the same people who went on to make the epic Mickey series.
God damn it,
I've never
Bear!
played
Don't you dare make that be a thing just by.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Half-Life is not.
Mission begins in 60 seconds.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Half-Life is not a horror game. At least, not for the most part. A surprising amount of it's still worth mentioning that racked around with this big swinging trap, as well as a Pepsi machine that blows up and spits a bunch of cans of soda out. Obviously, the Pepsi and swinging trap are nowhere to be seen in the final game. Yet another example of how weirdly deceptive this game's pre-release material sometimes was. And finally, I want to take a second to talk about the Digger. This thing is a piece of shit. If you don't know what this is, basically, for a period of time in development, the Ravenholm mines were originally supposed to take place in the middle of the chapter instead of at the end. And they were originally supposed to be like twice as long because you were going to have to use this rinky-dink car called the Digger to drive around and knock over wooden beams and then finally ram it into a giant head crab testicle thing on the wall to progress. Now, I know that might sound kind of interesting on paper, but if you play the section of the chapter in the leak, it's a buggy disaster of a vehicle that constantly freaks out and gets stuck on stuff, and I do not know its flaws whatsoever. What I do kind of mourn, though, is Return to Ravenholm. Sometime around 2006, Valve gave
I used it on a demo man thinking
Studios to go ahead to develop a Half-Life 2 expansion game set in Ravenholm. If you've never heard of these guys, they were a studio
Man, I don't know.
What a moron, am I right?
It was me, man. You could at least get me a warning.
I've never played that character. No, sometimes I get comments of people telling me that I come
I'm sorry,
off
they would get more of a warning.
So I'll confide with you guys. Just this once. I actually have no fucking idea what this
I
game
hope all of you have a good day.
Every time I try to look into Junction Point Studios' Raven Home game, I keep finding contradicting or just flat out nonsensical information. All that's ever leaked of it is one single level, but it's actually not a level, it's just a style guide, which means it was basically just concept. But some people online say it actually was meant to be the first level anyway, evidenced by hidden entities in the map file or something. I don't know. I'm not a game developer, and the more I talk about that side of stuff, the more likely I am to get something wrong. What does seem to be set in stone, though, is that Warren Spector was really excited at the idea of the game having a magnet gun.
These are to the gravity gun. Did there were also
characters named Scooter and If the leaked map is anything to go by, it was snowy, it took place at daytime, and you were supposed to fight Combine units throughout the city streets, despite the lore.
Oh, yeah, they got it.
Maybe it was supposed to be a prequel showing the fall of Ravenholm? I don't know.
They have like a century, right?
Hopefully someone in the comments will have a better understanding of this project than me, because even after going on a deep dive into this video, I genuinely still couldn't make pretty much any sense.
Onto you and kills you almost fucking instantly.
Luckily, however, there's a second
Can we go for the turret?
that is much more well documented and a lot easier to talk about.
I'll help you out with that if you want to.
Once Junction Point's version of the game was canceled, the idea was passed off to Arcane Studios, the same people behind Dishonored. And while the second iteration was also basically a complete mystery in the Valve community for ages, save for a few scanned screenshots published by Valve in 2013, in May 2020,
okay, what about you,
a
Big
documentary
Emu?
about Arcane Studios' history came out on YouTube,
yeah, they got
and
crits right now.
a huge wealth of knowledge onto the public about this game.
Oh, that's nice.
Up until this point,
I need someone with good burst damage follow me so we can take out the turret and get a foothold.
Giving us a pretty dang comprehensive idea of what it was going to be like. Starting
Don't
with the story,
apologize to the enemy team, they have no mercy.
Fan favorite Adrian Shepard from the Half-Life Opposing Force expansion, waking up in a hospital on the outskirts of Ravenholm after being presumably dumped by the G-Man back to consciousness by Glory. The plot this game was running with was that yet another zombie parasite
someone else is gonna have to go medic gun when they die, because
uniquely didn't require a head crab to spread, and one that Grigori himself had become infected with. The fact that he would initially hide from the player. This led Grigori to begin trying to develop a cure, in part by injecting himself with head crab blood in an attempt to build a resistance to the parasite's effects, and in part by experimenting on zombies.
I'm switching teams.
Leading to the creation of a zombie monkey enemy type. As Shepard, you were going to fight through hospitals, sewers,
I took down the sentry and the teleporter. Come on, do
okay, yeah, let's push.
In the background of this, Grigori's
dude, I gave you Uber, let's go.
And shooting up head crab blood would worsen to the point that he had pushing player. Up until the point at the end of the game, it became so malformed and monstrous that I actually still remember the day all this information came out.
And I got
more
crits
somewhat
again.
official dialogue from that especially
I think I
with
level 3 on the left side, outfit's down. But they, well, I see a teleporter right behind the hut.
It was also fascinating to see this newer design.
Guys, please, I'm destroying the sentry repeatedly.
A new
Do
model of his
something.
rifle, this time actually made of 5 polygons, and the new outfit that looks a little bit more efficient and mobile than his old priest guard. Anyways, as for the gameplay, Return to Ravenholm was actually quite a bit different from Half-Life 2, especially with its eccentric weapon arsenal. It seems like a decent portion of the game was centered around this nail gun thing, which you were going to have to use to solve water and electricity puzzles. There were also nail bombs, leaf blowers you were apparently supposed to rocket them with, a giant plasma cannon, and unlike any other Half-Life game that came before or after it, every weapon was supposed to have a Halo-style melee attack. It's kind of weird to imagine. The enemies were, as you can imagine, pretty much all zombies from the non-Dragon Riot. They were a lot more mobile, and you could actually knock them over.
I forgot that doesn't count as part of the spawn room.
Which looks like a hell of a lot of fun, I'm not gonna lie. The zombie monkeys I mentioned earlier seemed really interesting. They were apparently going to throw props at you and run and climb away if you shone your flashlight on them, due to some kind of hypersensitivity to light. I think the implication might be these guys
Medic,
are
if you need help building Uber, come over here. But get healed up first. Okay, there we go.
There's also this interesting zombie that
Guys,
spit
I have
acid
an
and
idea.
charge the
We
player
need
with
3
this
medics
mean
and one
power.
with the crit
He seemed pretty
one heavy,
imposing.
and
it's also
we
interesting
Uber
to note
each
that he was
other,
spitting
and one
acid about 4 years
Ubers
before the
the
spitter
one with
zombie
the
in Left 4 Dead 2.
with the crit
Anyway, this might be a hot
take. Over time, I've started to realize that while this Return to Ravenholm game
fun and exciting experience, it probably would have been remembered as a pretty bad Half-Life game, or at least a very weird one. The focus on these electricity puzzles is strange. The introduction of non-headcrab zombies takes away one of the most distinctive parts of Ravenholm's mythos, and the whole story kind of just feels like weird fan service to me. Now, I don't know about you, but if I heard that a new game about Ravenholm had just come out, and I booted it up just to be met with a weird electricity puzzle game set in the daylight that ends with me having to kill one of the most beloved characters in the entire series, I think I'd probably actually be a bit disappointed. There were still a lot of cool ideas in there, though, and some of the level environments looked absolutely beautiful, especially for the time. So it's a real shame we'll probably never get our hands on this game, even in an unfinished state. Who knows, though, maybe someday it'll leak online and some mods will touch it up. It wouldn't be the first time. Speaking of modders, though,
yeah, we're
as is
pretty
true
much
of
at
Half-Life
full
as a
serve,
whole,
which
a lot
makes
of the
this
most
map
interesting
like
content related to
unbearable.
Ravenholm is actually the fan-made stuff. In the mid-to-late 2000s, Ravenholm was the centerpiece of not only countless fan videos and machinimas, but even a few game projects as well, some of which are actually really cool. The first one I know of is simply called Ravenholm. It seems to have started development all the way back in 2005 and released in 2007. In it, you take control of a rebel named John who winds up stranded in Ravenholm after getting chased out of City 17 by the Combine during the uprising. By this point, Grigori is nowhere to be seen, and the Combine have even begun sweeping what's left of the place to clear it out once and for all. Abandoning your friends, you fight your way through the city for a little bit, wind up in some sewers for a while, make your way through a spooky abandoned laboratory complete with video logs from a dead scientist, before finally making your way out to the coast and driving off in an extremely convenient abandoned car that someone left the keys in. I'm not gonna lie to you, this mod is littered with annoying hallucination sequences and is a bit shoddy. But for a game clearly whipped up by a few Eastern European kids, it's not too bad. And it even has a few moments where it genuinely carries the vibe and atmosphere of the source material pretty well. In other words, it's made with heart. It also actually reveals to us that the most insane person in Ravenholm is the father. It's clearly whoever the hell did the town's interior design. One of the things I find most neat about this mod is that when you beat the game, you unlock a bonus mode where you can replay it with the gravity gun.
Holy shit, with Spy, real?
It's not perfect, but the people who made this were clearly very creative souls, and I think that had it received another layer of polish.
Richter, is it okay if I ask you a serious, but not like serious, just like a genuine question?
Which is really short since it was just a small part of a bigger mapping competition, but it's still easily one of the most interesting Half-Life 2 mods I've ever played.
The overtime part of your name and the, like, how you always start off your videos with good evening, if they're tied together, if it's just,
for example, pressing E doesn't pick up boxes,
end up that way.
It just happened. Dying to a zombie also isn't game over, as there's now a live system and you can actually even use these beacon things to choose where you respawn. On top of that, the enemy variety has been ramped up with all kinds of new juicy variants of the classic zombies, and it's actually really fun. The objective is to explore every corner of the map and find 3 batteries to power this electrified rail, so that in the end you can climb into this van hoisted up in the air and glide out of the town in style. It's a really cool experience and replicates the Ravenholm atmosphere perfectly, so I'll leave a link to check it out in the description if you want to play it for yourself sometime. I definitely recommend it. There's a lot more fan mods set in Ravenholm too, but some of them look like poop, some of them I couldn't get running at all, some of them aren't finished yet, and there's also only so much fan-made Ravenholm stuff I can take in at once. Regardless though, there's definitely something to be said about how many people were inspired by this chapter to the point of creating their own standalone campaign based entirely around it. So in conclusion, Ravenholm is peak. It's fun, it's super memorable, it's got an impeccable atmosphere that catches the player off guard really well, and one-tapping zombies with a Winchester while reciting Bible verses
still back
as hell. And all of that is why it will always remain probably the most
from
location
demo, man, and I still don't
even
know
rivaling the Black Mesa Laboratory that started it all. For people with a romanticized idea of the Half-Life 2 beta, Ravenholm represents the strongest connection to final game has.
Oh my god, that red spy.
For everyone else, it represents a delightful scare from our childhood.
They're all spies.
And to me, it embodies all of the Eastern European loneliness
and desperation that makes Half-Life 2 so beautiful.
I'm sorry if this video was a bit cheesy, but I've always found Ravenholm and Grigori fascinating and wanted to do a video. So if you've gotten this far, hopefully you've learned something and you were at least entertained. Thanks for watching, subscribe for more, and have a good day.
I'm glad you went to honorable round for that melee weapon. So you could have melee weapon. Unless you were trying to do a gesture piece.
This was my home and now it's hell on earth. I turned the card like we and I crushed him. I used the spinning propeller to slice their ass in two. I'm Ravenholm's bad mother. Who the fuck are you?
There's a sentry there. Kill him, now.
This game was made for big movies.
Yo, can someone kill that piece of shit scout on our phone? Thanks.
They got teleported in our back line in between E and D.
No, we don't.
On that little catwalk.
Don't worry, I got it.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about
it. Get up to it. Yep. There you go, Bananakin. Nice. Good work, dude.
Thanks, man.
Yo, taking your C point though. Let's keep moving, folks.
Additional time has been awarded.
Oh, jeez! Gotta move that gear up.
Man, this map is disorienting as fuck. Where am I supposed to go?
Good evening.
Good evening.
Half-Life is not...
Pyro on last point.
Not anymore.
Nice.
Guys, I'm only falling for it. I'm gonna die. Thank you.
Yeah, they're just going for the final point.
Guys, those B points stand for balls, and if they capped it, did they explode? Man, we lost so bad.
Yeah. They got a sniper on that window, just completely rickrolling E right now. And we're definitely not going to take D back.
There we go, now we can push 'em.
Soldiers and a spy.
It's
Now we
over,
kick out
guys.
this door.
We will never be Barack. I don't even know what to fucking go. Honestly, I exited spawn and didn't and had no idea where I was supposed to go. This map layout is ass.
Position.